I'm not going to talk about the game plan today. You know it. I want to take this moment with you and talk about where we've been. Do you remember where this season started? It started in this big house. In the dark. All of you in one monumental challenge. Why do we run? Yes, it's part of lacrosse. Critical, really. We build those fundamental skills needed to win. Speed, you have it. Power, you have shown it all season long. Endurance, now that is something you can never quite confirm. You never know if you have the endurance needed until the test is done. And therefore, you must continue to drive. Endurance comes from more than just your legs and your lungs. Your blood and your heart. Your heart. Beating, reaching. You'll inevitably reach a point where you say no more. Happens to everybody. I want to tell you today, though, that it's a good thing. Endurance isn't just about the running we've done. It is the act of perseverance, the strength to keep going, to endure whatever comes your way. Now, you will face challenges that are simply too great to overcome. They will be heavy and crushing, and you will say no more. And in that moment, I want you to think of this place. I want you to think of everyone before you who came to the edge of impossibility. And I want you to stand there at the edge and endure. Endurance is what this place has. This mission.
The SeaTown Classic live here from just outside downtown Seattle, the Starfire Complex. Scott Oshman, Mark Bissell. It's Army and Michigan, big-time Division I college lacrosse. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing great. Super excited to be here.
Absolutely. We'll be joined by Matt McCarthy later on in the program. Let's first set this up again. Kind of a fall ball off-season, two programs, different leagues. We'll start with the Big Ten Michigan Wolverines, overall 3-10 in the 2016 campaign. Conference, ouch, 0-5. Non-conference, 3-5. And they lost one of the big power punches, Kyle Jackson, the 7th overall pick in the NLL. How do they make up for so much power, Mark?
You know, I think they're looking forward to this season. They had a great recruiting class. They got 13 freshmen. 4 of those were in the top 100 recruits. They have a lot of those guys competing for key positions in face-off and goalie, a lot of depth. So I think the future looks really bright for Michigan right now. 6th-year head coach John Paul. You like this time of year. You like the opportunity to take on a good Army team because they have other questions, and we'll talk about that throughout the broadcast.
as you're seeing on your screen the tribute to Chris Hall, the long time lost his life, one of our head coach here when the Washington Stealth was in town. We'll talk about Army as well. We'll talk about Michigan face-off. They lost their big guns. Goalie transferred to Hopkins. They got a lot of questions, and we will pause for a moment, Mark, and we'll go down as the color guard is walking into the stadium for the national anthem.
Lacrosse fans, this year's SeaTown Classic charity partner is the Team Jesse Foundation. They were formed to honor the tragic loss of Army Staff Sergeant Jesse Williams, who was stationed at Joint Base Lewis McChord. Today we ask that you join us in honoring Jesse and all other military members who have given the ultimate sacrifice for our country with a moment of silence. Thank you. And now please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem, performed today by a young athlete from Lakeside Lacrosse. Please welcome Anna Kelly.
Great rendition there. Anna Kelly from local Lakeside High School for our national anthem. Not sure the audio picked it up, but part of the charity for the SeaTown Classic is Team Jesse, and we'll have Kevin Mincio up from Team Jesse to talk about that at halftime. Mark Bissell, back to the Michigan Wolverines and their many questions. We talked about their scoring with Kyle Jackson scoring 29 goals last year. Also, at goalie, they had an excellent goalie in Gerald Logan, 51% save rate. He transfers to Hopkins. That opens an opportunity for Robbie Zanino.
Yeah, word is Robbie's going to start tonight, but I think that some of the other goalies are also going to get a look. Great opportunity in a preseason game like this to take advantage and see some of these guys in a game situation. A lot of exciting players coming into the Michigan team in this recruiting class. Avery Myers was a top recruit that I think they're really excited about. Hank Adams from Colorado should also be an impact player right away. Finn Goonan is a guy I'm looking forward to seeing on defense. Just hoping he lives up to his name for sure.
Switching over to the Black Knights, Army, the West Point all the way from West Point, New York. Both these teams traveling in, getting in late last night. And if you're around the Seattle area, the Northwest, you know about Cole Johnson. He put a lot of defenses in miserable situations his time here at Bellevue High School, set all kinds of records. He's doing the same in the Patriot League. Army real quick, overall 10-7, 5-3 in the conference, and one of the toughest. Non-conference 5-4, and boy, they were this close. They lose to Loyola Maryland in the Patriot League Championship. We all know, if you follow lacrosse, what happened last year to Loyola Maryland, making it to the Final Four, losing to North Carolina. So when you're talking to head coach Joe Alberici, 12th season here, they've got a lot of guns coming back, no pun intended there.
Yeah, no, they look great. They're a strong physical team. I'm really excited being a Northwest guy to see Cole Johnson and Evan Condon, two Northwest products, making an impact. I think that Cole could be the main feature in their offense this season, and just super excited to see how they do tonight.
Scott Kemps from Michigan, the assistant media relations, telling us they did play Army several years ago. As you see, we're getting ready for lacrosse here from the Starfire Complex. This is home. You can probably see the Sounders, the Seattle Sounders. Our officials tonight, Aaron Karansky, Jim O'Brien, and Joe DeCaro. And it's nice we also have Matt McCarthy, an official himself in both college and high school. We stop for the face-off. One of the big questions for Army in the black. And Michigan, of course, those recognizable Wolverine helmets. And it looks like they will take the first possession here.
Noseworthy, the left-handed attackman, came up with that ground ball. That was a great hustle play to keep the ball with Michigan.
Just the start. Glad you're with us here on STSPN. Excited to bring this presentation. As you see, we've got great northwest weather greeting these two teams from out of town. Wind has been going all day long. A steady rain. As you see out the top, Schlosser there, Mikey Schlosser, the midi senior from Davis, California. Gets it over, and we'll see this kind of off-season fall ball, just feeling it out, Mark, as far as getting freshmen and some unknowns. There's one shot. That'll go off cage. It'll head, and we'll see Army for the first time.
Yep, right over Ian King's stick, but you should expect to see him operate from X a lot tonight for Michigan. They're looking for him to be the main feature on their offense.
13 score goals last year, 16 assists in only 11 games. They're looking for big things, as you said. There's an errant pass, and we'll turn it right back over.
Weather's really tough on the field right now. I suspect there'll be a lot of overthrown balls and mistakes.
Just the kind of the pennies there for Michigan. Number 9, we'll talk about him. Walter, as Michigan looks to get something going. No score, first quarter action here from Seattle. They kind of spin it around there. A lot of things to look at. Patrick Tracy, number 14. We'll see who he gets in. 9 games last year. They got a lot of kids that are looking for big things, big expectations this year to make up for all the goal scoring they're going to miss with Kyle Jackson. And P.J. Bogle, one of them who had the ball there. Now it's over on the far side. Get it out behind X up top. Karan. And nice defense
Solid
there.
Defense.
Karan couldn't quite get enough room for the shots taken down by Army. We'll talk about these goalies. For Army, A.J. Barreto, 53% save rate last year. Now we get to see Army on the offense for the first time tonight. Another local, Evan Condon, heading into his sophomore campaign this year. 28 is Cole Johnson. Second team Patriot League last year, 73 total points. Get it behind. Again, big losses for Michigan on the defensive side. We'll talk about. There's a shot by Johnson. And we talked about Robbie Zanino behind the in between the pipes here, Mark. It's a good defensive set there for Michigan.
Definitely.
Come back over on the other side. Rocco Sutherland, 29, a sophomore. Another up-and-coming, what they hope to be a superstar. As he, I don't know if the camera, the rain is just pummeling. I was watching some Michigan-Ohio State from last year that was just a whiteout. You could barely see the players, so I don't think the rain's too much of a bother. On the top here, Chase Young, a lot of big hopes there for this next season for Chase.
Oh,
there's a great pick. Johnny Surdick, the sophomore, with the plucks it right out of the air. Would you like to see here, Mark, get going here for Army?
Well, a better shot than last time, for sure. They got to the position, but got to put it on cage.
Connor Glancy, the junior midi there with the ball. They'll sub out there, get it. And they'll come back at it again. 10-10 left to go in the first quarter here. Creating some space. Around the wheel up top. Ted Glesner, 21, touched the rock there. Talk about him. There's a big stop. And that was Glesner. Whipped it in there, another good stop. But here comes Army right back. Avery Littlejohn, the senior. Not only is the weather a little sloppy, Mark, is they see a shot, and there it is. Boom, Nate Jones, the sophomore attacker, puts it through. And that'll break it 1-0, Army on top. What happened there?
Yeah, it just all started with a bad pass out from the crease. It's about the third or fourth bad pass we've seen so far in this game. I imagine these teams will calm down a little bit as the game wears on.
Nate had the most goals last year, 36, 3 against, obviously, just the tradition, the Army-Navy game. He had 3 goals versus Navy. 3 games where he had 4 goals. And 5 he put through against Boston last year. So 1-0 Army here, 9:23. And here's one of the big concerns for the Wolverines at the faceoff, and they come up with it. Shot on goal, and there's Big King.
He wants that one back.
Went wide.
I'm wondering if we've got some wet pockets out there. People are just not throwing or shooting the ball very well right now.
Army coming back. Michigan has played some decent D. Had a great shot by Jones. Trying to find a lane. Outside is Cole Johnson. Johnson! Got the home cooking, wants to put one up for the big home crowd, Mark.
Yes, he was selling out on that opportunity for sure.
All right, Michigan in the ride now. What do you want to do here, Mark Bissell? Is Michigan trying to get a flow on the O side?
Definitely establish their offense. They've been in the game since the start. Just need to get some good shots on goal here.
Toss it around. Back up top. Great opportunity as Lacrosse is growing over here in the West Coast. Here's a drive, and they think better of it and back out. But Lacrosse just building momentum. A lot of recruits. Obviously, Cole Johnson, Evan Codden going out there. Gotten players to Maryland.
This is the freshman line, midfield line from Michigan right here. So they've got Christian Ford, and a couple other recruits that I'm speaking highly of before the game.
King there!
Great shot.
Oh, baby, that was almost a little no-look wraparound, low and fast. And Ian King, if you're Michigan, you want to see a lot more from Ian King, as he points per game was lethal last year in 11 games. He's only 3 points away from the record for Michigan, I think tied by Kyle Jackson now, the 7th pick in the NLL. So we're all knotted up 1-1.
See if Army can win a faceoff here.
They're going to try several kids, is Michigan, on the faceoff. Dan Graber, has been their faceoff guy. He's got a 64% win ratio, not tonight, as good bump and run there. And now the ball flying all over the place.
It's a free-for-all out there.
There's Greg.
Cole Johnson comes up with it at midfield.
A little popcorn action there in the midfield.
Michigan's looked great on the faceoff so far tonight.
Jones with it. Jones already has one tonight. One of the prolific scorers on this Army Black Knights team. They went on to lose to Notre Dame. And here's a shot. Good save there. Almost a little rebound action. But Zunino taking one right there. That was an excellent save. But they're getting a lot of good lanes, good looks. They're getting time, and they're getting a lot of room. And that will, over time, be to their detriment as Michigan here comes to their side of the field.
Zunino looks comfortable in there.
He got a lot of time his freshman year. 24 games, again, good recruit. And they're saying, we'll see, it's still very early in the, obviously, preseason. They're saying there's a few other kids that are going to go up, be competing for that goalie spot for Michigan. We'll talk about that as
P.J. Bogle working up top.
Trying to get drive on the left. Here's that spin again. Shot, save, rebound. No.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Michigan. It's a good ground ball.
Called a crease violation there. Bowman coming up with it for Army. 5:03 left in the first quarter. We'll go down to Matt McCarthy at the quarter break. Got a guest of, I think everybody will have fun listening to, as Army trying to get one here in the first. 4:44 left to go. Scott Oshman, Mark Bissell, Matt McCarthy with you on STSPN.
Austin Colvin trying to direct traffic here. It's got a short stick.
Colvin makes his way around, now has some time, and he puts it to the back. He was teasing him all the way out and got him close enough in range and took it home. 2-1.
They've got him listed as an attackman, so bringing him in off the bench at the midfield line and taking advantage of that short stick matchup.
What are you seeing here, both sides? Any of the tipping their hand at all?
Tenacious play on both sides. One thing I like seeing so far is just the full field ride and strong attack play from Army.
See that we have Clipstein on the face-off. Can't tell. No, that was not him. That was number 11, again, McDonald. And he had some times. So they're trying everybody. They lost a lot with Brad Lott moving on, graduating. They've got to find that key guy who's consistent.
Well, he's just won 2 straight away, so he looks pretty good out there.
He's the leader in the clubhouse so far. Back at X with the ball now for Michigan. Sutherland. 3:48 in the first quarter. Back out front here on the near side.
Nice feed.
Trying to take it in. And he does.
So that's noseworthy. Great feed from King.
There's an assist. Brent Noseworthy, the sophomore, had 6 goals last year. He played in 7 games, started in 1. And something, in talking to Scott Kemps, the assistant media relations, he's one of those guys that are looking to kind of be one of the big horses there to take up and spread the love that they need on the offensive side. All tied up 2-2, 3:37 left in the first quarter. McDonald again campaigning hard for that face-off position. This time it'll go to Army. Over on the far side, Connor Glancy with the ball. Zanino, the senior, the netminder right now for Michigan. Back off, now one-on-one. Gets it back up. Nice save! The big shot there by Johnson.
I think he needs to take one more step.
Spinning around outside again. They'll try and set it up. Colvin, 36, already has 1 tonight. The ball now passes it back out. Trying to get to Glessner. Ooh, nice hit there. And the Wolverines come away with it.
I think the amount of rain that was falling earlier in the quarter and at the start of the game has really impacted players' ability to keep the ball in their pocket, scoop the ball, pass the ball.
There's a try.
That shot, for example, that was 10 yards off goal.
Sutherland there. Might have hit off the defender number 18, Rika, but wide. 2:18 left in the first quarter here. And Sir King right there with the ball behind X. Looking for help.
Great pass.
Great feed. And he closes the deal there. Great shot.
Michigan's finding the open man across the crease.
Ian King, not only did he hurt you as a shooter, but also 16 assists last year as Sutherland adds to the point total here. And it's rock and roll first quarter, Mark Bissell. Thought it was going to be a little lull there when we started, but these offenses getting warmed up.
It's been an exciting back and forth affair.
McDonald there for Michigan.
Just a great opportunity to have top-level lacrosse out here in Western Washington.
Graber comes up with it. Big number 99. The senior. And he's tough. And he's played against some of the best faceoff guys in college lacrosse last year and had pretty excellent success. 1:48, just under 2 here in this first quarter of the SeaTown Classic. Lacrosse community out loud and proud. Santarelli, number 3, with the ball behind the cage as he spins out. Trying to get the last shot, 1:26 left. Cole Johnson hasn't got one yet. He wants one. Trips up. Flies it through! He rips it and he's fired up. No thoughts about the middle of October, Mark. Cole Johnson wanted to put that through for his hometown.
I have a feeling he's going to be calling his own number all night.
The pride of Bellevue High School, one of the dominant high school lacrosse teams here along Mercer Island. His now teammate Evan Condon. They had some battles back here in the Northwest for the high school championship. Every time Michigan has come down, Mark, Army's answered.
Yep. Yeah.
All tied up with 1:14. They didn't quite take enough off the clock and give it another shot here. Senior Graber working against McDonald. Graber now having his way last 2 times. Teaching the young fella something. Jones. The black and kind of the gray tops there for Army tonight. Michigan. Now he's rolling. Spins, good save there.
Great save.
For Zanino. Had his blind side there a little bit by his defender. Good reaction there. 36 seconds. Army take another shot here. Glancy running it behind. Waits for a screen, says no thank you. Glancy now looking at 20 seconds. Glancy tries it, he gets it to go. Woo! That was a rip from way down. Connor Glancy, the junior midi. Filling up the score sheets here, Mark Bissell.
Yeah, it's been a very exciting first quarter.
I feel like this is like college football. Are we going to see any defense?
Well, you know.
17 seconds.
Army's been running past their guy on offense, and Michigan's been passing past their guys on offense.
Do they pack it in if you're Michigan? Do you want to pack it in a little bit more? They're getting some good one-on-one matchups. They're not doubling so far. Are you like the risk reward? What do you do?
You know, it's a good question.
You're an offensive guy, right? Why am I asking
yeah,
you?
Exactly.
Graber comes up another one. Oh, excuse me, rather, that's 57. As we look down, that's Ragno, and that will do it for the first quarter. And Army 4, Michigan 3. The end of the quarter, we'll see. We'll try and go down here to Matt McCarthy, who's got a special guest in his, I'll give you a hint, his son scored in that first quarter. And we'll see if we get back to, if we turn his mic on. Trying to go down to Matt McCarthy.
You are actively serving in the United States military in the Coast Guard, Navy.
There we go, Matt.
All right, the action's fast down here. These guys are big and they move really quick. The Army's looking confident, and Michigan's psyching themselves up. They've really been able to move the ball, so looking good down here. We got a hometown crowd for Army. They're screaming and yelling and going crazy. So great night for lacrosse in Washington. We'll try to get Craig Johnson on here later, halftime or third quarter, and see what's going on there. So just enjoying the liquid sunshine, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Plenty of that.
Matt McCarthy there, he does it all. He's like a Swiss Army now. He plays still. He's a ref.
Tremendous referee.
He does high school, college. Come on, you've gotten in some battles with him, haven't you?
Oh, definitely. Mostly when he's throwing the flag against me.
Yeah. I'll stop asking you defensive questions. Is that what's tripping it up?
My defensive skills are limited to slashing.
Lax.com, where lacrosse players get their gear. I want to thank Lax.com, a proud sponsor. Also, this presentation of college lacrosse brought to you by Strideline, the most comfortable sock on earth. And the rain just keeps on coming. We saw it. We had some breaks in the weather. We had some decent weather, and then you saw this storm coming all the way during the week, and you said, it's going to hit on Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah. Glad we're safe in here in the booth.
Yes, this is why we do it. Wind picking up here during the day, a storm system, but I tell you what, it's nothing like the poor folks in Florida and other parts of the country in South Carolina having to deal with much, much worse. 4-3, Army over Michigan. It's a big year for Michigan in Big Ten. We talked about, obviously, before the game about Maryland, just perennial all-time threat. You've got Rutgers kind of coming up, Penn State getting better, Ohio State, the Canadian connection.
Yep, John Hopkins. It's a tough conference, but they're really serious about building a strong program here, building a dedicated lacrosse facility that's going to be top-notch. Really tremendous recruiting class coming in this year. Again, I think the future is really bright for this program.
King gets it in. Then Graber back in for Army for the face-off. But McDonald doing pretty well so far tonight here at the start of the second quarter. Michigan comes up with the ball. And we'll see what they run now, starting the second. Bogle. Down low, now back to Bogle. PJ Bogle. They got some big expectations for this kid. They think it's in him. Back out top. Curran. Deep shot. That was from another zip code. Out of the stick of Schlosser. Mikey wanted one. Schlosser, his mom, is also a big recruit, national triathlete. Man down. Curran doesn't think anything of it. Keeps going. Now Army on the turnover. Army with a 1-goal lead. Back out top. Setting the stage, setting it up. Now they got another play. They're going to wait. Gunnar Miller, 24 there. Here we go, 12:59, second quarter. Now back to Miller. Swing and a save. Austin Colvin wanted his second. But here comes Army one more time. Culver. You got to hold on to your hat inside there. Gunnar Miller comes up with it. You love it, though, when you go into heavy traffic, right? And you got sticks coming at you.
Yeah.
One-on-one outside.
If I'm Michigan's coaching staff, I'm really happy with the stops and goal, but I'm not happy with the clearing play.
There's a shot and a smoker. Curled around. And once again, that's Cole Johnson. I should know better than that.
Army seems to be picking up speed here.
He had 6 against Lafayette last year. He just started to heat up more and more as they went on. This is senior campaign. The accolades starting early for Cole Johnson, the pride of the Seattle Bellevue area, Bellevue High School. And I think you're going to see a lot. Number 31, we'll make sure we check when he's out there. Evan Condon from Mercer Island. He had 1 goal against VMI last year, but I think you're going to see a lot out of Evan, too. very quick player, just tremendous ball skills, and he's great around, the inside around the crease.
Yeah, big, powerful midfielder.
And McDonald comes up with another one, and he's hammered from behind as he was trying to let go.
Nice heads-up play by the face-off guy on a quick whistle.
Langerhans. Let him know the caboose was coming. Michigan now down by 2. Been a fast, furious second quarter here. Gibbons, another one of those high hopes kids. And a good save there by Barreto. Army coming fast. Cole lost the handle there as they were trying to get quickly a shot.
It was a good-looking fast break up to that point.
And there's 31, Evan Condon in. As you see him run off now, did his job. Mercer Island. There's a big kick there. Goes wide from Bowman.
Rain's really coming down.
Looks like green light for both coaches. Alvarisi letting them fly. Nobody's holding these kids back. Why not? Off season. Little John from the top. Lefty. Just wide off cage. That'll stay Army ball. Glessner with the attempt. Michigan just trying to hold on here. As you see, Glessner now, top. And defensively, Michigan lost a huge player. As you see, Cole Johnson.
Great dodge.
I tell you what, we've been slicing, dicing, and he just nails it. Set him up all the way through. Hat trick now for Cole.
I think he weaved through the entire defense.
What is Michigan? And there's a timeout by Michigan. And talk about, I know you're an offensive guy. I'm not supposed to ask you defensive questions, Mark Bissell, but what does Michigan have to do? We talked a little bit about them, the loss of Chase Brown, who graduated, 41 ground balls, 21 caused turnovers. You can't, until they leave, you don't know how big a hole that is.
Yeah, and I think they're just searching for their unit right now so that they can play as a group and have the slides mapped out. It looks like Army's just able to carve right through them right now, and they just don't have that intuitive gameplay, I guess, where they know what each other's going to do. But hopefully games like this will help them develop that.
Well, we know this is a great opportunity for these kids. Finn Goonan trying to look in to see if he gets some time. Stefan Bergman, also one of the defenders, now coming into his senior season. These are the guys that are looking to step up, and that's always the case as you go through and lose those seniors. Who's showing the promise? You might not have gotten a lot of time, but what do you have on the practice field? What do you see coming? And that's an opportunity for these young kids. As there's a timeout, and we were tied, all knotted up, 2-2, 3-3, and then Army and Cole Johnson, more specifically, really started to hit them.
They've finished their opportunities. Michigan can't say the same here in the second quarter.
DRG, proud sponsor of the SeaTown Classic, a leading healthcare research and consulting company providing high-value healthcare industry analysis and insights. Tonight's presentation also brought to you by Sylvie Sports. Never lose sight of your goal. Getting back to play. That was a good timeout by sixth-year head coach John Paul from Michigan. As Cole Johnson, he was getting a little too heated up. Rain not bothering him at all. 10:05 left to go in the second quarter. 6-3 Army. The face-off question for Michigan. McDowell, I mean, Army knows their face-off, although they're trying some other kids there. As you saw, number 6, but Michigan comes up victorious on that one. Walter with it. Number 9 comes away, but now they're down behind X, and that's Walter gets it back out as the rain continues to just hammer down. As they hit it up top now. Michigan down 3, 9:35. They've got the weapons. Nate Jones, rather. Here's a drive in the. Looking for a push there. What'd you see there? Ford, that's Christian Ford. Great story about him. Number 48. Another freshman. We're seeing a lot of freshmen out here. Related to Gerald Ford, our former president of the United States. Also a Michigan grad, but again, we're learning from Scott Kemps, the assistant media relations. It had nothing to do with his name or his family. The kid can play.
Yeah, he's had a lot of looks in this game so far.
Swing it back around. Great opportunity here to get some play in October for Michigan. Looking. And
that's not the pass they want.
No, that cross crease pass wasn't too much traffic. Great job by the defenseman there, 35. Jordan Cole breaking that one up, and now Army with another opportunity. 8:44 left in the second quarter. Cole Johnson already with 3 of the 6 Army goals tonight. As they have it up top. Matt Bowman, the midi, working. Now he's going to run off. Patriot League for Army not going to get any easier, as it never does as they head into. They were so close. Again, with that championship loss to Loyola from Maryland, who went on to the Final Four. As Cole Johnson working up top, now trying to feed.
Oh.
Rips it high. Oh, my, what a shot by the big fella. Number 56.
It's a great low to high shot.
Assist there by Cole Johnson. Waiting for the official. Look, Matt Manown trying to get a number on Matt. A lot of numbers in this fall ball session. But he's going to get credit for the goal, no doubt. Another face-off. What's going on down there, Mark, on the face-off?
Been evenly matched so far. You know, it really seems to have been a wash.
Some other things you're looking for here.
I would say McDonald has really
yeah,
solidified himself as Michigan's go-to guy. He's been competitive in every draw.
Army happy to take it their time now. 7:15 left in the second quarter, up 7-3. There's Matt. Just scored a goal, gets it down. They've got some speed there, don't they, Mark?
They really do. Michigan's got some big defensemen.
Glancy. Up top, there's another low to high try by Sims, David Sims, the junior midi. Big opportunity for the West Coast and the Northwest for a lot of high school kids out here looking to play lacrosse. There's a shot. And is it in? Yes, it is. Wasn't sure if that was on the other side, but it snuck in.
That fooled everybody.
And Crabtree there will get the goal from San Diego, California, the sophomore. A sneaky one. That was hidden in his right pocket.
Yeah.
And Army starting to show their will a little bit, 8-3. And this is what Michigan and John Paul, and they were worried about. And it's early, and these kids are young. No time to panic by any stretch. But the defensive questions were one of many that the Wolverines had coming into this next 2017 season. As Graber gets that face off, he wants to take it all. That was a huge swing there. Good save by Zanino. We're talking about the high schoolers. Big crowd here at Starfire Complex here for the SeaTown Classic. We've had some great teams here in the past. Notre Dame, Denver. But the high school recruiting and looking at the Pacific Northwest more and more, Mark, is a place where you can find high-caliber D1 talent.
Well, I think it's been proven over the past, decade or so with some really top names in the game that have come out of Seattle and Portland, California. There are some just great players that have come out of the area, and I know a lot of us longtime players from the area are really proud of that fact.
And another turnover, costly there. Good coaching moment. Will Biaggi tried to feed it down to Sutherland, and Sutherland, they just weren't on the same page. There's an errant pass as on cue, but able to pick it up is Bowman. But it's been building for the last few years as we get more successful players coming out of this region and even the West Coast.
And teams from this area going to the East Coast and performing very well. I think against top teams in the Northeast has also shown that, the Mercer Islands and Bellevues are programs to be reckoned with.
Army coming on the near side. Up top, he's getting a little defensive moves there, trying to keep him honest. Santorelli, number 3 there with the top of the ball. Now it's back out. Little John gets it over, and they're working the top. And now they don't work any longer. They swing it hard. What a fastball there by Avery Littlejohn, the senior midi, and he just ratcheted up a notch.
Great feed, great finish.
And they're working both sides of the cage here, and that's what the slide is obviously not even happening. That far out is tough, but the Michigan defender's got to be quicker on the move.
Most definitely. Zanino kept in it for a little while, but he's getting hit hard now.
9-3, 4:29 left in this second quarter. Tonight's presentation of college men's lacrosse brought to you also by Hyatt House. Lay your head and shoulders above the rest. Hyatt House. As the face-off there, also Jersey Mike's, authentic sub sandwich franchise since 1956. And that's one of the challenges as Graber gets another face-off. McDonald doing a yeoman's work there, but they're winning the battle here in this second quarter.
Yeah, McDonald has been on the last 2 draws, and Michigan has not been in either of those. So
Cole Johnson seeing what he can make of and get Malillo there, the defender, one of the guys they're trying to see what he's got. Did a nice job there. Now at the top, though, Colvin. It's back over. Trying to go down low. There to back it up is Cole Johnson. Downtown, step down. Oh my, David Sims.
Yeah, Michigan just looks a little bit confused out there.
He's a 6'4", 212-pounder from Fairfax Station, Virginia, boy. He had bad intentions on that from
was a great
far
shot.
away.
Scored that one with the train rolling by.
We did. We have the train here. If you ever, anybody from the Northwest, come to Safeco Field, the Mariners. Not playing right now in October, though. It got closer, but they do have the train, always kind of a time-honored tradition there, running through Safeco. Got the same here at the Starfire Complex, where the Sounders have the MLS call home. And there's a face-off win there for Michigan needed. Can they hold on to it is the question. No, they can't. Lacrosse tried the face-off there as Army just hammering.
Great save.
Zunino.
That's 2 in a row. That second save was tremendous. First one was great. Second one was amazing.
And they're going to say Army ball with 3:06 left in the second quarter. 10-3 Army. 2016, both these teams have one team in common. That was Notre Dame. Neither fared very well. Army lost. That was their last game of the 16 season. 7-13 ended their 2016 campaign. There's a big shot there again by Littlejohn, with a defender hanging on. Coming around, Zunino again. Nice save there. Trying to keep the Wolverines in it. Clears it with 2:30 left. See if Michigan can get something going. Trying to just hold his balance on the box. That blue line, probably difficult to see for our viewers, perhaps.
Michigan's making some avoidable mistakes here. Tough to get back in the game when you're throwing the ball away and can't control the ball after faceoffs.
And Army already played once today. Part of the great day of clinics and coaches clinics, and got a lot of youngsters out here, but they played a kind of another exhibition game.
Yeah, a lot of the younger guys from Army played a JV game today against Claremont prep school from BC. So, you know, we may see more of the senior guys out here during the game, but I imagine, especially given the score, that they're going to play the entire bench through the course of this one.
Yeah, they're giving Cole Johnson the ball right and back. They gave him the inside. And there's a crease violation. That'll turn it over, and Zunino with the ball. I feel like you're playing with fire if you give Cole Johnson the inside lane there to the rack.
He's had a tremendous first half.
3 for the senior from Bellevue, Washington. Michigan. 1:02 left in the second quarter. Trying to close the gap just a little bit here. Get some momentum heading into halftime. We'll have a special guest here at halftime. Looking for Ian King. Also, you see Chase Young, the junior midi right now. Number 3 with the ball, and now gets rid of it. But they're looking for some power from him. Here's Ian King. King, had room, time. Good stop there by Barreto. Fast transition. Here comes Army. The Black Knight, swing and miss. No, he gets it. Number 40, way downtown. I tell you, Nate Jones is second. They are popping from way out.
Oh, that's just a dagger. Michigan had a chance there. Should have changed the plane on that shot. Went high to high. Easy save. Great transition goal for Army.
Quick. Did not waste any time. The fast break there. Potent. Caught Michigan behind. 11-3 now, and they have just exploded here in this second quarter for the Black Knights from West Point, New York. And another face-off win for Army. They're piling them up. 16.5 seconds left to go, and timeout on the field. And we're going to step away just for a second. We'll be back with a finish here, the second quarter, watching men's college lacrosse on STSPN. '16 SeaTown Classic live streaming right here, STSPN. Glad to bring you this great matchup. Army and Michigan. Army pulling away a little bit in the second quarter. Scott Oshman, Mark Bissell, and Matt McCarthy with you. Looks like the rain has let up just a little bit, Mark. And Michigan, there's a quick timeout with 16.5 left. They had them in check early in the first quarter. And then as the game has gone on, you're seeing the power and the strength and the physicality here of Army as they're going to try and put another one through the net. That one gets picked up by Colvin. Long pass. And that'll do it for the first half with Army coming on strong that second quarter. And what does Michigan have to do, Mark, as we head into halftime here? We got a great interview talking about Team Jesse here, one of the great partners and charities here. But what does Michigan have to do to get back in this game?
Control the ball would be good. You know, they're really having a hard time holding on to the ball. If they win the face-off, they're just not making the first smart pass. And then they're not getting enough shots on goal. So it would help a lot if they could score some more goals.
Well, of course, yeah, absolutely. Their face-off, they're trying a couple people. McDonald doing a good job.
Yeah.
They're going off a tremendous face-off guy, 63% win rate last year in Graber. So we'll look for that. We'll take just a quick break, and we'll come back with Kevin Mincio from Team Jesse. You want to hear all about that. 11-3 Army, STSPN.
So here we are at halftime at the SeaTown Classic, and I'm sitting with Kevin Mincio, a longtime teammate, friend of mine, really familiar with the charity that he's going to tell you a little bit about. But Kevin, maybe for our audience out there, you could explain a little bit about the origination and the mission of Team Jesse.
Yeah, Team Jesse was actually started as a lacrosse team in 2007, shortly after my close friend, Staff Sergeant Jesse Williams, Army Staff Sergeant Jesse Williams, was killed on April 8th, 2007, from sniper fire in Bakuba, Iraq. Jesse left behind, a family, brothers, sisters, mother, father, and a wife and a young daughter, Amaya, who's now 10, but she was 11 months old at the time. And it was my friends in the lacrosse community that thought initially that we would, raise money for the Williams family, and that was in 2007. And after doing that for a couple of years and making sure that financially Amaya and her family were okay, we were inspired to do more. And myself and another member of the lacrosse community, Matt Corey, founded Team Jesse as a IRS-recognized nonprofit organization in 2011. With a mission to provide education and support to families of fallen soldiers in honor of my friend Staff Sergeant Jesse Williams.
Excellent. And what's gone on since that time? How's it evolved?
Well, we started out being event-based, and we did a bike ride across the country in 2011, and that was seeded money for the foundation, and that was to commemorate not only the 10-year anniversary of 9/11, but also to raise awareness about something that we're really passionate about, and that is that we feel that the legacy of our nation's heroes, the fallen, should not be forgotten, and it's really our passion and our vision that we're going to tell their story. So we seeded the foundation with that event, and since then we've raised money through events like this, grassroots community service, local, where volunteers come together and we raise money, and we're able to help families of fallen soldiers along the way.
So for our listeners out there, can they get involved by going to teamjesse.com?
Yeah, it's teamjesse.org, and there's a number of different ways that you can get involved. We first and foremost we do events in communities, and people can help us put on those events. We also would be interested to connect with families directly. We provide assistance really through three ways. We have two partnerships with two great organizations. One organization that does grants and scholarships, another organization that does bereavement camps, and then within our own organization we connect with families directly, and we provide support to them through the money that we raise at events.
Excellent. Talk a little bit about the lacrosse community and how that's helped foster Team Jesse.
Well, as I said, beyond just the beginning of the initial team, it's really the people in the lacrosse community that have really helped me raise awareness. They've helped us. We have members of the lacrosse community on our board. We have members of our lacrosse community on our advisory board. Just want to point out that we're an all-volunteer organization. Nobody's getting paid for what we do. We all have full-time jobs. Our board pays our administrative fees, and 100% of all the donations that we've received from donors over the years has gone to our programs to directly help families. That's something that I'm really proud of. We run things pretty lean, given the size of the organization that we are, but it does mean something when we have to, everything we do, we have to, fund ourselves to ensure that we're able to have the donor money go to the mission.
I think that's a great differentiator, and just having known you since the formation of the team, I just want to say I'm really proud of what you guys have done and really impressed.
Well, I appreciate it. You asked it's people like you that have helped us do what we're able to do. I mean, we go to lacrosse events, we raise money at lacrosse events. We've had fundraisers in local communities. As I said, it's just the lacrosse community they've been donors. They've run events for us, and I think it's that lacrosse has always been. A lot of people that play the game know that it's about. It's almost a family. Certainly, friendship, commitment, and those are the values that I think that we're able to find the synergy in the lacrosse community.
So what do you think about the first half here and the Armor performance?
Well, it certainly started out pretty even up, but it looks like Army's a little bit stronger. But it's a game of runs, and I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan comes out and plays hard here. They didn't come all the way here to get blown out. So I think it's going to be a good second half. I honestly think that Army's probably a little bit better team, but two great teams out here playing, and I think it's a good showcase. We wanted to have this event really be about showcasing the game of lacrosse in the Northwest that's growing, and we wanted to provide a great experience for the players and the coaches and the families that come out here. So those are the two goals of this event, and I think we're accomplishing that with what we're seeing here tonight and today and with the clinics, and even this morning with the JV game.
How you feel about having one of your former players from Mercer Island out there today?
Evan Condon is probably my favorite player I coached in 8 years for a lot of reasons. A lot of people think coaching's about what you can teach kids, and I learned a lot from Evan Condon as a young man, and I'm humble enough to say it, about competitiveness, about never giving up, about character, being strong to adversity. And it was a special time with Evan Condon, coaching him for 3 years, and especially his senior year. And he's a special player, and he's at a special institution in this country, West Point, and a lot of great other guys over there. But I'm proud to say that I coached Evan Condon.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for coming up and talking to us about Team Jesse. And everyone out there, please look at the website, teamjesse.org, and learn more and contribute if you can.
Great. Thanks very much, Mark. I appreciate the opportunity.
Back here for the second half, the SeaTown Classic, Starfire Sports Complex here. Scott Oshman, Mark Bissell, Matt McCarthy. We'll go to Matt a couple times here. Try to get some. He's been listening down on the field, there hasn't been a lot of calls, and we'll hear why from him. But Army having their way right in the second quarter, coming out strong, and they kind of stretch that lead 11-3 now as we head into the third quarter.
Still a lot of the starters from both squads on the field.
And this is the time when a team has a lead. This isn't really, it's a game of runs, and a great interview there. Kevin Mincio from Team Jesse, just incredible story about Jesse Williams and his, the great loss and the cause and what motivated Team Jesse to kind of build this charity and talk about the game, the great game of lacrosse, and use that as Army's working on the far corner there. Now gives up the inside, thinks about it, passes instead. That one gets away from him, and here comes the Wolverines. And double teamed, getting all kinds of hassle is Patrick Tracy.
That might have been a great time for a timeout, Coach.
And they finally cough it up. No, they don't. Finally, they get it into safe, into Walter there. But that was dicey if you're a Michigan Wolverine there. But bringing exposure to the game of lacrosse definitely out west, as University of Denver winning that national championship in 2015 was a big wake-up as far as the West Coast, as lacrosse has been so dominated, rightly so, by the East Coast. As you have Roswell now, number 5. We haven't seen a lot of him for Michigan taking number 5. And also Schlosser was involved early. Now he's back out there at the top with Bogle. But I was talking about as the lead here. What's your opinion, Mark, on a shot clock? They do have one in men's college lacrosse. It's not quite like you see in Major League Lacrosse, where it's much more of a true shot clock as they give up a big possession there, and Army comes away with it.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with the version of the shot clock they have in the college game today. Really doesn't increase the pace of play in any way in my mind. I really like the product that they have in the MLL today, and the way that they've got the game structured with the shot clock and the two-point line. I think they go hand in hand together, because you definitely don't want to have teams setting up down low and packing it in on defense if you have a shot clock. But I think the game would do well to be sped up a little bit. That said, it has been a lot more up-tempo in the last couple of years in the NCAA, and I'm thrilled to see teams like Brown that are letting the players play and letting their long sticks play offense. I think that the evolution of the game in that direction is going to make it a lot more fan-friendly.
Cole Johnson out of Bellevue working his way. We have new goalie in, Height in for Michigan. We were told he was going to get some time tonight, Tommy Height, as they're trying to solidify that goalie, and there's a little mix-up near the midfield. Army comes away with it. And I agree with you. You have seen a great evolution of the game and getting the long sticks and getting more kind of those hybrid players. They can go up and down the field, and a little bit more liberal with those particular players and let them use their athleticism and the speed and the power that's building in the game. As you'll see one of those powers coming around here. Good defense there. Now he finds a hole. It's wide. Height does a nice job. But I agree with you. I'd like to see the next step of the shot clock, anything to speed the game up, make it more entertaining as teams pull away and get that drama factor just heightened up, which if you watch lacrosse anytime, there's a lot of drama, especially in the Final Four and the national championship. It's just epic. You can't write that stuff.
No. Last season was tremendous. Season before as well. I mean, a lot of, I think, very viewable games. But I would love to see a more up-tempo version of the game with less specialization. The thing that's really kind of disturbed me being a long-time player is just the degree to which, face-off guys are not given the green light to play offense. Long sticks aren't given the green light to play offense. And those are, some of the more exciting aspects, when the game's played in a more free-flowing manner.
think there's some more changes. It's spreading. There's a good save again by Height. Cole trying to get his 4th tonight. And back to Cole Johnson. Back around to the top as they, good defense there.
Great hustle.
Nate Jones with the attempt there. And Army retains the ball. Earlier game tonight's the first time for the women's college game to implement a 90-second shot clock, a true shot clock on possession of the ball. We saw that in play, and that was exciting as Cal was victorious, but the women from Army, the Black Knights, they came back, got into the 4, and a lot of part of that was the other team, a totally different game, they couldn't stall, and that's just what we're talking about with the men's game here.
Yeah, situations just like this.
Yes, exactly. Big
Oh, nice save.
shot up top. Heiss gets his rebound, is picked up by the Wolverines. They'll get it back to the goalie here, and he'll find an open clear. Make them take that shot even earlier in the possession. Now big play all along the doorstep, and he pulls it through. What a pass and catch. Oh, baby. Hank Adams.
MJ Malilo with the tremendous pass.
Malilo, that was a long-range missile there. Great job to recognize Hank Adams. Just a freshman, the 5'7" freshman from Greenwood Village, Colorado, Cherry Creek area. We talked to media relations, assistant media relations, Scott Kemps about him.
That's my alma mater. Love to see that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's right. You're a Denver guy. My oldest going to the University of Denver. Timing was excellent regarding lacrosse. Denver now going into the Big East next year, both women's and men's, as there's another Army victory. A quick pass from Graber. Oh, boy, to Jones. Jones was ready for it, and he delivers. Tommy Heights, he had no time to even react.
No. Graber's done a great job of staying involved in the play after he wins the face-off.
2 for the sophomore, Nate Jones. Look out for him. Tremendous talent. Shaking up the league last year as a freshman. And they stretch it now with 9:06 left to go in the third quarter here. 12-4. This great exhibition game for everybody in the Pacific Northwest, getting to see this high level of lacrosse. Leaving Graber in there. And there's McDonald, who had some success. Now he loses wand, and they're going to make him pay. Graber, he's tried to get that second one. Good save by Height. Boy, he wants the face-off and the shot. He wants the scoop and score, doesn't he?
He does.
He's tried twice.
I really like what McDonald's done off the draw. He just has a hard time holding on to the ball.
Trying to get, see number 3, now he'll get the ball. Chase Young involved. Going to try him at midi this year as more of a defense or kind of D-midi there. Trying to get him more involved in the offense. He has great potential. Nice spin. But excellent defensive work there by the long stick. And there's a shot on goal. That's going to go wide, and it is from Chase Young. And Michigan, 7:58 in the third. They need some points. And there they got it. Right on cue, number 22, Justin Gibbons. And they talked about his little hidden shot. You don't know it's coming. He's got a quick trigger.
That was a great shot.
See if we can go down to Matt McCarthy and see if you can get some insights there from the field. As at the end of this quarter, we'll have his guest Craig Johnson. Where in the world is Matt McCarthy? The newest game. So 12-5, Michigan gets their first score here in the second half. Again, battling is McDonald, but the
Graber, great job.
Graber, the taller, bigger. Now he gives McDonald a little love tap as the ball gets down on the Army side. Army once again, they're quick to go. Wide, and Height got his stick on it. Tommy Height, the junior from Greenwich, Connecticut, getting a shot. Told Zanino not an absolute as their full-time goalie this year. They're going to put the competition out, and Tommy Height, one of the guys in the mix.
He's looked solid so far. Zanino had a great start to the game and a great end to the half with one tremendous back-to-back save play where he had a kick save and then there was an immediate rebound and he stuffed that one up high, and that looked to get him right back in the game after letting in a run of goals there.
Another big save there by Height. And Mawan tried to get in. Matt, the youngster who has one in the first. There's a shot, and that's way wide. Difficult angle. Boy, shot on goal. They are just flying them at the Michigan netminders here all night long. Fast and furious.
They must have heard us complaining about the pace of play. Both teams have been pulling the trigger.
Back behind. Little one-on-one. Cole Johnson. Not this time. Already has 3 tonight. Homecoming here for Cole Johnson. Evan Condon. Army switching it up. Glancy there, and the back and Big Matt. Rain off and on, the wind here coming down on a Saturday night. There's a switch. And he just waited just enough until those defenders got out of his way, and that's another goal for Matt Mowen.
If you're going to make that slide, you got to take the body on that one.
Manown. And he did a great job there, waiting, being patient. He made that quick move, had his back to the goal, was waiting for that slide, saw the opportunity to kind of split it, and that's where the lane presented itself.
That was a beautiful move. He just slipped right by him.
Sometimes it's not how quickly and how fast you make the move. Sometimes you have to have patience as an attacker to let the defensive breakdown happen.
Oh, just a tough giveaway by Michigan to win that face-off, take the ball back, control it, and then just throw it away on a simple clearing passes.
Heartbreaker for the Michigan Wolverines. They're trying to grow up here, and sometimes it's tough loving. They lost some big weapons. We talked about Kyle Jackson moving on to the NLL. Chase Brown on defense. Brad Lott, their big-time face-off threat.
Yeah, Kyle Jackson is on the MLL roster too, so very
That's
impressive.
right.
Yeah, I mean, he's got great skills.
And the defense for Michigan, we're in the middle of October. Obviously, they just started here a little bit. Both these teams came out late last night. It's got to get fatigue central here as you just keep getting pounded on. Possession after possession. There's a big shot and a nice block and save there by Tommy Height. Tries to clear it far. And an errant pass. Again, I like the aggressiveness, Mark, but that's just not at this stage of the game. Too costly.
Yeah, they're not confident in that outlet pass.
You go into your long stick guys. They're great with the ball. That's a tough catch and a tough pass. Cole Johnson, 28, up top now. Miller, 24, working the top there. Well, Matt McCarthy just chomping at the bit here to get in. There's a pretty deadly shot, and that's wide off goal. But it's recovered as,
bull dodge.
Once again, there's a bull dodge. They finally double there with Cole Johnson. Gets up the inside. What a job by the goalie.
I don't know about that call.
Your friend, you're the guy you like, Finn Goonan. He gave up the inside, and Height had to come and help out. They did a nice job crashing there on the offensive. And let's go down to Matt McCarthy.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Talk
All right,
about
we're down
what
on
you're
the
seeing.
field. Michigan's not giving up. They are not quite as deep as Army, but they're going to fight to the end, so that's what we're seeing right now. Back to you.
Thank you, Matt McCarthy. They're not giving up. You got to give them a huge amount of credit. John Paul, the head coach, Connor Ford, the offensive coordinator. We can, Matt McCarthy. Asking if we can hear him. Yes, we can. The rain causing all kinds of havoc as usual. Army. Cole Johnson denied one more time. Great rebound by Height. Players on the ground. Height clears it. I like Tommy Height if I'm a Michigan Wolverine fan.
Very athletic in the goal.
Schlosser with the ball out front here. Glessner on him.
I'm just happy to see a successful clear for Michigan at this point in the game.
2:32 left in the third quarter. Scott Oshman, Mark Bissell, and Matt McCarthy here with you. SeaTown Classic. Brought to you by Stars, Seattle's premier lacrosse education and training program. A lot of these kids, not only in the Northwest, across the country, during their youth playing for Stars. Also by Wimmer, the right team, the right intelligence. Thanks to all of our sponsors and everyone involved here with the SeaTown Classic. I want to thank everyone from the entire Army program, both men's and women's, and also Michigan and Cal. Been outstanding. There's a nice low worm burner there by number 4, Decker Curran, the sophomore midi. He gets into it. His first goal tonight. He had 10 last season. High school, he won kind of like a gun on his, one of the fastest shots there. Had a competition.
Yeah, he won the fastest shot at the Under Armour All-American game. A lot of competition, I'm sure, in that game for fastest shot, so that's impressive. This face-off battle is really intriguing me. When they got the 2 top face-off guys out there, it's been quite a matchup, so looking forward to seeing how this one comes out.
McDonald taking most of it again with Graber. And McDonald has come up big if he can hold on to it, and that's where he's had trouble, and he has again. Can they bail him out? They cannot, and Army gets the possession one more time as he's sent out of bounds as he gets rid of it. Physical play here, Mark.
They're leaving it on the field.
For an off-season fall ball contest here in the early part of October. Nate Jones with a lethal shot as well with the ball. He's already got 2 tonight. That's right, 2 shots. 13-6, just under a minute in this third quarter. Michigan trying to crawl their way back in. Tommy Height, the Michigan goalie this half, he's been electric with some circus saves. Now the top, there's the big fella. Thought he was going to wind it up. Back behind, great defense there as he Tenbrick took the shot, but great defense by 36 Eric Smith there to disrupt his shot. And there's another one, a good save by Height. Wolverines pick it up. Chase Young with it. Long pass, and the long stick can't handle it. The turnovers in the midfield mark have just been killing the Wolverines. They come up with this one.
They're hard to watch at this point. It's frustrating that they're not making those simple passes. They really haven't put their best foot forward in this game. They got some quality players, but it's the basics there, between the boxes. They're struggling.
And Patrick Tracy, the junior, he tried to scream one across the field there, and that ends the third quarter, 13-6, and we'll get ready to go down to Matt McCarthy, who's got Cole Johnson's dad standing by, we think.
Well, I'll say that Height was the high point in that quarter for the Wolverines. He was tremendous in there. Great positioning, great anticipation. Really looks like a tremendous stopper.
Wait for Matt McCarthy here once he gets, we got some youngsters throwing out some good giveaways. And here I hear Matt McCarthy.
As hard as he could by ball whenever possible.
What's it like having a team out here, Army team?
So excited for us and to have guys in our own backyard.
Awesome. Good luck tonight.
Matt.
To you.
Thank you, Matt and Craig. It was chopped up again, having some challenges with our microphone there, but got to be a proud papa, Mark Bissell, if your boys out there. Because Cole Johnson, boy, he went far away from home as you can here, Seattle to West Point, New York. And he came on heavy, strong, having a tremendous season last year in his junior season. And just the expectations this year and what they're going to need from him, from this Black Knights team, to get them farther than they did last year.
He's the man this season, and there's a lot of pressure on him. That's the thing that's the most impressive, is not only did he, go back east and make the program, but now he features prominently. So it'll be great to watch him this season and see how he does.
1 quarter to go here at the SeaTown Classic.
Another face-off win.
There he goes one more time. He is doing everything he can to win that job. Michael McDonald, the junior, Middleburg, Virginia. As Michigan, big quarter here. See if they can make it interesting. As Glessner with the ball. Now he gets it back up top on the far side of the field. And there's Mikey Schlosser with the ball. That was Fossey 21 rather for Michigan. Here's
Looks like they're working in some of the younger players for Michigan now.
Looks like it. Talked about P.J. Bogle, 33 there up top. Ground patient, looking for a good shot. Trying to not turn over the ball. There's a good shot. Bogle! And J.P. Bogle puts it through.
Great patience, nice feed.
New goalie here, 47, Matt Kozoil for Army. 6-foot sophomore from Camillus, New York. But P.J. Bogle, that's another one we talked to Scott Kemps, the assistant media relations, about. They are looking for him to be a massive part of their offensive threat. (13-7). Early first quarter, these two teams were tied up. It was back and forth. Then Army that second quarter, and there's another huge face-off win there for Michigan. Walter. Now he hands it off. Again, there's Fawcett coming 21 in Michigan. Wolverines building a lacrosse program. Wouldn't it be fun to play in the big house? 100,000 there. He's getting held. Official.
Swallowed his whistle on that one.
It is just off. Here is Young Chase. A good-looking shot there from the left side. Wide to stay Michigan ball. Noah with it. Another freshman, like we said, getting some looks here. Fourth quarter. Gibbons, 22 now, gets it onto the near side, trying to spread it out, find a lane. There's Chase Young working to get a lane. Now he has some room, dumps it back behind. See if they'll coil up. Boy, he gets it really just as he gets clocked, and now we will get a call. Matthias, BJ there, taking the brunt after that pass.
Is this the first time we're seeing Michigan's man-up unit tonight? I think we've seen two penalties.
I think so.
It's been a clean game, though.
It has. And we're talking to Matt, and I don't know if his mic's working yet, but he was saying there hasn't been a lot of calls, but he's hearing on the field that they're talking to him, a lot of verbal, hey, what, you know, a lot of those things as we're just a fall ball exhibition game. They're letting him play.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite Northwest referee crews for that very reason.
Bogle going high, and this has been their Achilles heel, and that once again is going to hurt the Wolverines as they turn it over, as they were in good position here. 13-7 with 11:52. And one of the big things everyone's talking around in the Northwest, the Pac-12 country, is on the women's college side, they're going to get to a Pac-12, those big five divisions in the 2018. Mark Bissell, you've been around here. You're the mayor of Lacrosse, so to speak. And what is going around? Why can't we get a Pac-12? I haven't heard anything about Pac-12 being on the men's side.
Yeah, that's a tough question. I wish I knew the answer to that. Just doesn't seem like there's a lot of momentum going in that direction. But you know, with the women leading the way, hopefully the men can't be too far behind.
We've got some tremendous talent out here. If you look at even the club circuit, Arizona State, you've got, Grand Canyon keeps coming on as far as that state goes. And then you have some very decent in the California system, Santa Barbara.
Oh.
It goes on the list if you get to watch that lacrosse out here as the rain keeps coming down.
Well, and Simon Fraser right up in
right
outside of Vancouver. I mean, there's a tremendous bed of lacrosse talent just north of here.
Wolverines on the turnover. The long stick wants one. He gets destroyed as he tries to shoot it. Good highlight for your boy Finn Goonan. Out of Northport, New York. He wanted that. They love that, right? They wanted the glamour. Trying to hold him off. The ball coming into the middle. Crabtree coming up with it. He's got 1 goal tonight for Army. Closer to his home from the San Diego area. Manown, 56 up. Getting some great time tonight with the ball. He's got a couple goals. Talking about Army, they don't have to rebuild. They typically just reload. In a very tough Patriot League, which goes without saying, but last year the standings, I mean, Loyola Maryland, of course, they played in the championship 7-1, Navy 7-1, Bucknell 5-3. If you look down the list, you know, Army West Point really 4th in division at 5-3, and that's they were playing great at the end of the year. You see the shot missed and saved, excuse me. And I think we have another new goalie in. That's Trowbridge. Another goalie who's vying, a freshman from St. Louis for that. But they played well in the tournament, and they got to the championship game, but they were kind of the middle of the pack of the Patriots League.
Yeah, it's tough. They just seem to every year have a great caliber of player.
Picked off there in the midfield. Mikey Schlosser comes up with it. Mikey, another one out of Davis, California, closer to home. Gets it back behind X. And we've got another goalie in new for Army as well. Number
just a
22.
mental lapse there by Michigan.
Yeah.
Interfering away from the ball.
Paul Newbold, the new goalie, and for Army, another big goalie, 6'4", taking up a lot of space between the pipes there. Athletic kid. Now Army in control. 8:08 left in the game. 13-7 Army. Been all Army here since the second quarter. Round the horn. Now back to X, looking for the cutter. Can't handle the feed, and it's Michigan ball.
Army's done a great job riding this entire game. There hasn't been one easy clear for Michigan.
And even in the midfield off those face-offs in the second quarter, even when McDonald would come up with it, they were absolutely just pestering and fierce on the defensive side. And got a lot of cost turnovers from that. Out front. Walter with the ball. Now he takes it behind. Push it out. 13-7. 7:07 left in this 2016 edition of the SeaTown Classic.
I think Michigan's got some positives to come away with from this performance. So they didn't fold. They're definitely an opportunity for them to get blown out at one point, and they've hung in there.
Young, boy, threw it in the middle. It's a lot of traffic trying to get it to Jason Brown, and a good job for Michigan just to hold on to it. Foss with it, Fossey. And that's the kind of stuff that has plagued this young team all night long, as just a routine pass. And TJ Haggerty can't hang on, and he gets the turnover. But that's a freshman also from Huntington, New York. And there's a timeout on the field. We will take one as well. SeaTown Classic from rainy Seattle, STSPN. We are in. A flag flies high as there's 6:05 left to go in this one. There's a lone stick in the middle of the field. Army, the big lead here. Not too big, 13-7, 5:48 left. See if they can get more. Credit to Michigan. They've been held 13-6 at the end of 3, Mark, and so you got to credit the Tommy Height, also now a new goalie in for Michigan, but the defense have come away and they've held on to possessions much better.
Yeah, they got some options at goalie for Michigan. Height looked really impressive.
And some pushing and throwing people around and get the new line in. Matt Trowbridge, the goalie now, number 25. Matt McCarthy now in the booth. We're going to take care of those technicals. So talk about what the you're a referee. Talk about what you heard on the field. We're not seeing a lot of whistles. We've seen a few here in the third and fourth, but what's going on? What are they telling the players?
Yeah, a foul ball like this, they're definitely going to let them play. But down on the field next to the sidelines, you hear the referees on both sides giving them verbal warnings. Hey, get some stick. That's a push. Knock that stuff off. These guys have been playing lacrosse for a long time. They know the code of the road, similar to hockey. If things get too out of line, the enforcer will send a message, and nobody wants to get hurt out here. So the referees are in control, not calling a lot of calls.
As you were saying, the speed not only of their feet and the physicality, Matt, we were talking at halftime of this Army team as Glancy gets another one through. Again, they just spin the yarn across the field around the horn, and bam, not much the new Trowbridge, the goalie, could do. But talk about the speed of this Army team. You were right down on the field, up and close.
Yeah, if you've ever gone from a high school game to a college game to a pro game, the speed it goes up exponentially. So you see these guys, big guys, and they move fast. What we're seeing here at the end of the game is that the Army bench is just deeper. They've got more speed at the end of their bench than Michigan does. Michigan, third year, still building up to what they want to be. So that's what we see from the sideline.
Great stuff, Matt McCarthy. Thank you very much. And 14-7, 4:32. It's been a blast here. The opportunity to broadcast these games tonight, the SeaTown Classic. All about exposing everybody here in the Northwest. Sometimes people forget about this part of the country, Mark, and there's a big hunger and a thirst for lacrosse as Army turns it over, a rare turnover, and Michigan will get it. But that's what's the snowball and evolution of the sport out here out the Northwest, and that's what the SeaTown Classic's all about.
Yeah, I love to see all the high school kids and younger kids than that out here able to watch this game. We just don't have the opportunity to see, players of this caliber, athletes of this caliber on a regular basis. And it's just a tremendous event. So, I think it's one that we all really look forward to in the lacrosse community here in the Northwest.
Another new goalie for Army, number 8, as you see Avery Myers trying to take it down the lane. He'll think better of it. Now he's going to keep working. Nice pass. Around shot. No good. TJ Haggerty there with the try. And it comes back Army possession, but Tomasitis is the new goalie, and we are just the round-robin goalies here on both sides tonight. And a great time to do it as you see him clear. And those clears are too easy. That's going to be talked about, I'm sure, in the coach's room as they progress to the season. You cannot let a goalie clear it and there's nobody within a few yards.
Glaring difference in terms of, how hard Michigan was riding when they were put on defense.
2:43 left to go in this one. Working behind the cage, Army. Putting on a clinic, a show. Michigan, nothing to be ashamed of here. They've got some tremendous talent right here. Good speed on the pickup. McKee can't quite get it. Haggerty, and a big save there by Tomatidis, who just came in the ball game, the third goalie tonight. Talk about being cold and coming in, Mark, on a cool, rainy, windy night.
Well, Michigan finally won one back at the midfield. Let's see if they can do something with it.
Just under 2 to go. Will Reynolds in the ball game now, number 44 with the ball. The junior from Madison, Connecticut. Michigan does have some nice speed, and they're fighting. There's another costly turnover, kind of been the story of the night, and that's their youth in many ways and experiences they're building up in the Big Ten, and they're going to get more opportunities to learn with Maryland and Hopkins, everybody else they got to go up against.
Seems like a timely affair for Michigan. They know what they need to work on going into the season.
1:15 as this clock ticks down. Both these teams in their league, the Patriot League, also the Big Ten. The Big Ten growing in stature as far as their prominence nationally and getting to the big dance at the end of the year, getting better and better each year. Obviously, Maryland, Hopkins, those guys just the top of the tier there, but all the second level, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan.
It's great as a lacrosse spectator just to have that quality of game on the Big Ten Network on a regular basis on the weekends. I know I really enjoyed watching those teams play last year.
No doubt, and if you're Michigan and you're recruiting it, obviously Army a whole nother level of commitment and just a different student experience there. It's tremendous, but hey, you want to come to the big house, and by the way, we go down to the Horseshoe at Ohio State and play there, and we go, big-time college athletics, there's nothing bigger. There's a sweet-looking shot. It's stopped, though.
Yeah, you really feel like it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. It's just too great. They got a brand-new facility coming in, we were told, one of the top lacrosse facilities, and that's going to do it for the 2016 version of the SeaTown Classic. Army pulls away. They were in control the entire time, and they will go a nice victory here in October, and we want to thank them, both teams, for traveling out, both getting in late. They'll get some time to enjoy the city a little bit tomorrow, then they get back to class, and they'll go home tomorrow night. But, Mark, you've been to a lot of SeaTown Classics. You've been around. What would you say the state of the union for the state of Washington and the Oregon and the Pacific Northwest for lacrosse?
It's just tremendous. Every year it just gets better and better. There's more youth playing higher level. The lacrosse in the high schools, just more and more teams on the east side of the mountains, both in Washington and Oregon State. So it's just incredible for those of us that have been around for the last 20, 30 years, helping to grow the game, just how much momentum it has today and the level of play at all levels. It's really fantastic, and I think this event is, just a part of that. It just shows that there's a commitment to getting this type of game out and this level of play exposed to the local community. Just the performance that Army, the men and the women put on today, they didn't show up until 11 o'clock last night, and they were able to come out and, play two strong games, and the women did really well as well. So, I think that's great, and I think it's great for Michigan, to get out and play in this game, and we've had some tremendous teams in this event. So the fact that they're here is, I think good for them, and the road is nowhere but up for Michigan lacrosse right now.
For Army, they just want to keep building on the success of last year and many years before them. For Michigan, not every question answered tonight, but a little bit clearer on several big questions they have coming into this next season.
Yeah, I thought the goalie play, while sporadic in the first half, was great, especially in the third quarter, and the face-off, I think they've got some questions answered there. So
always fun to see Cole Johnson, the local product, also Evan Condon, but Cole Johnson, he started on fire, 3 goals tonight. That's going to wrap it up for us, for the whole crew at STSPN. I want to thank Matt McCarthy, also Mark Bissell, always fun. Thanks for coming down. This is Scott Oshman saying so long. The final here, Army, the Black Knights come away with a win, 14-7 over the Michigan Wolverines. You've been watching college men's lacrosse on STSPN. Good night, everybody.